I don't know.
Do you think we should add them or no?
Wait, is it working now?
Okay, let's check.
Yeah, now it's working, I guess. Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Say something in
hallelujah,
the chat. All right.
hallelujah.
Yo,
Let's go.
it starts reloading and then it's gonna go off.
Wait, is it
Stream.
working now?
Yeah, it is.
Let's go. Okay. Wow, Ethereum just did a quick dip, like
Hmm.
a really quick a quarter of a percent dip.
Is it working?
Okay, check check. I see your
No.
live. Let's see if it works. Wait, wait. Okay, I see the live, but
Hmm.
I cannot hear us. I cannot hear us.
Well,
Okay,
what's
yes, I
up?
can hear us. It's working. It's working. It's working.
It's working?
Yes, it is working.
All right, let's start. Let's start then.
Let's greet everybody that is joining.
Hi, how are you guys, bro? How are you? We're about to start with.
How is everybody?
They're gonna still hear us.
I think the live ended for me.
The live did not end for me.
I can't find it.
The live is
Gone.
active for me.
I don't know why
Yo,
you can't
guys,
see.
type yes in the chat if you can hear us.
It doesn't have a thumbnail, maybe that's why.
N- I have no idea. I think it does.
It does?
No, no, the live is working. The live is officially working.
The live
Yes,
is
let's go.
working. Alright,
Let's
but
go. Let's go. Okay.
here and stream. Oh, audio. Alright, you guys. Alright, I think the live is working. Yo, so everything is working
Yo.
perfectly? Guys, type 69 if you
I
hear
think
us.
everything is working perfectly. You should keep
Only
that.
14 people online? This is crazy.
Yes,
Alright,
people. Everybody is 18 people are here. Okay, let's go. Let's.
yo, let's add him CY to the chat.
Um. Yeah, I guess we could. Yes.
Alright, let's go. Add CY.
Yeah. Sai,
Yeah,
not CY. It's Sai.
just add him, bro.
All right.
CY.
You have it's Sai. I'm sure of it.
I added him. Okay, now hopefully he comes in.
Hopefully.
Still, guys, for make the screen bigger one tonight. No, it's just like a call. Ask CY to also post about it. Yeah, CY will post about it in a minute. At 21 people.
Hello,
You guys hear me?
Sai. Hello.
How we doing?
How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. Just working.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Is this live right now? Like, are we on YouTube?
Yes,
Yeah, we're
we
live.
just started the. Yes, we're live.
How do I view it?
You can also like publish the link. I'll send it here in the Discord chat.
All right,
Like
cool.
you can also post about it if you want.
Yeah, so let's ask everybody come in. Sorry for my voice though, because I have a small little flu.
Good. So who I got just Fumo, I know who you are. Norris, I know who you are. Who's Paki got?
Ahmed
That's
Al Sharfa.
Ahmed. Yes,
Is what?
Ahmed Al Sharfa, Emperor.
that's the
Oh,
emperor.
cool.
Here, copy link.
And we got Leo here too.
Nice.
So how are you doing, bro? CY.
So yeah,
I'm just gonna do this post really quick and then let's get into it.
yes, of course. Before we start, I have to ask you because we were arguing about this. How do you pronounce your name?
CY, Cyrus.
Is it so? It's both CY and Psy.
Just CY.
Okay, so I was wrong. Okay.
So come on,
Or
Tisamo,
Cyrus.
you lost the bet, bro.
I lost the bet, yeah. All right, so you're CY.
Let's do this.
Okay, so everything is working. You're running.
Okay, the stream is working good, I think. Yes.
34 people are watching right now. It's great.
Nice, yes. Wait. After Psy will post, this will increase extremely quickly.
Hopefully, you get 100 viewers.
Hopefully, yes, that would be a great milestone.
Like 34 people. Yeah, I know the screen is not full because we're gonna do more talking and less screen work. We have
Yeah, and you
40.
can also change the title of the stream because right now it seems like the title is my broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I do it, OBS just
It
closes the stream, and I don't want to cause like more trouble.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right, fellas. You got me for the next 30 minutes.
Let's go.
Like 30 minutes. We gotta utilize that time quick.
Yes, let's use the time.
So how do you guys want to do this? You want to ask questions or what do you guys think?
Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
couple of questions.
we have a couple of questions ready.
Good.
So okay, can I start?
Absolutely.
Okay. So first of all, what came into your mind before you started trading? Like, what's your story?
All right. So I wish I had a better, more interesting story as to why I got into crypto. I grew up in a very low income situation. So I bounced around. I was a young entrepreneur. I did a bunch of different things from Facebook reselling groups to kind of anything you can imagine in that realm. I grew up mostly on the internet. That being said, and so I started this Facebook group called Supreme Cartel, which was essentially just reselling Supreme in like 2014. That
Hmm.
grew quite a bit, and then one of the members in there, who was notably kind of from this like generational wealth, told me I should buy Ethereum. And I knew what Bitcoin and Ethereum were. I'd interacted with them a few different times, and he told me that his father promised him Ethereum would be $1,000 by the end of the year. He was the
Hmm.
only very rich person I knew well at that time, and I just blindly listened to his advice. I had $5,500 around saved up. I threw $500 in. I want to say I really don't remember. I want to say around like $12 Ethereum, give or take. And then within like a couple days or a week, I watched it double. And that was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. This was my first time ever investing. I was not privy to the stock market. I think I was bad at times. It was young. I was very young. Social media was very different back then. So investing was not as popular as it was now. Crypto was for sure a joke and was like entirely labeled an asset for drug dealers and things like that. So I watched the 500 double and just lost my mind and put every dollar I had into Ethereum.
Hmm.
And just started riding that wave for a little bit. I rode up to like 220. I remember watching it go down a little bit and selling out of panic. It sold at like 180, and then started like really obsessing over the market at that point. Had a friend of mine who got into it with me, who was close with all throughout high school, and we just started scouring the internet day after day, literally 12-hour days, just trying to figure out like what do we buy, what's the next thing. Um, and so that's how it kind of all started. Funny enough, Ethereum did hit $1,000 the day after New Year's. So my friend was right, or his father was
No, no, that's
Great, beautiful. That's a good story. That's not boring at all.
right.
okay. So the idea of Involio was yours or Ryan's?
It was Ryan's. So Ryan started it, and I joined. I want to say 4 months into the project. He just messaged me on Instagram, and we had kind of brushed shoulders through just like other groups around. He explained the idea to me, and I grew up in this kind of social fi space. I had my own Discord, and I hated it. I hated everything about Discord and Telegram and building a community, and just like, Discord isn't a financial supporting app, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Discord was really built for streamers and other situations of like really gaming, if anything. And so all these Discord bots that have been added over time for prices and so on and so forth, at the time just didn't really make sense. I had people webhooking my all of my trades out of my personal Discord and selling it for different prices, and there was just all these different problems. And so when Ryan and I started talking, and he explained to me, what he was envisioning, it was the perfect matchup. It was just something I had already kind of been dreaming of over the past couple of years. Of hey, I wanna help people make money, but I don't think Discord and Telegram is the way to do it. There are other similar platforms like StockTwits, which I think is mostly bots, and I wasn't a fan of. And so we just synced up. He DM'd me yo, and it started everything.
Wow. Um, answer this only if you're confident. But what was your biggest loss in
Oh, I
crypto
have
or
music.
trading it at all?
This is a good lesson. My biggest loss was Opulus. Opulus was a token that launched last cycle, like mid 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was friends with their CMO, their chief marketing officer, and
Mm-hmm.
I got into their pre-sale really early. So I had the pre-sale was I think 10 cents. I could be wrong, maybe like 7 cents or something. I threw a decent chunk in there, and one of my problems throughout this 8-year journey of trading was not going in with enough conviction. So like I bought Solana at 67 cents. I sold it at $10. You can imagine, how I feel now. I'm watching it in 2021 go to these peaks, right? If I had just held onto my Solana, I would have probably had 50, $70 million. And that was a reoccurring theme for me of either not buying enough or selling, relatively early. Um, and so Opulus came out, and it felt like I kind of had this edge. I knew a couple people on the team, and it was a music app. They had a real platform. It was a Web 2 product coming into Web 3 with a pre-established, couple 100,000 users. It felt like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is a real project. This isn't some scam, meme, anything like that. The whole team was obviously very doxed, and I did believe in the founder for quite some time. So Opulus launches at I think like 80 cents or like a dollar, and then dips down to 70 cents. And I put the most I'd ever put in percentage wise into Opulus at that point. Opulus
Mm-hmm.
then runs to $8. I was very public about my buys with Opulus as well, so I had a lot of friends who as well were in. And due to the size, I was one of their top holders. And I had a lot of other friends who were in the private sale as well. So this is where things get tricky. Like obviously, 80 cents to $8 is quite a run. This is like under 2 months. Made a ton of money in that progress, and shaved off like a small amount of profit around $8 or $7. And then the market kind of starts to crumble. BTC starts to kind of fall apart, and I'm pretty much out of the market other than Opulus. And I was just looking at it like this is my play, whatever, whatever. I ended up doubling down on Opulus at like $4. And it got really tricky because, as I said, I had a lot of friends who were in, and myself having been a top holder, it would have kind of created this cascade effect if I did start selling. Like if if one of the top 10 holders of a token begins to remove their position, like that will cause others to start selling. And I didn't want to
Mhm.
dump on my friends. Like there's a very common saying in crypto of like, oh, you don't want to dump on your friends. And I held on to that very closely, and Oculus is trading sub 10 cents right now, I think. 99% drop. So that was my biggest loss.
Wow.
I
A
bought
Wow,
lot of
like
that's
lessons learned in
huge.
that, I think.
I bought BNB at like $6, 2000 BNB. Binance forced me into buying it technically. Like back in the day, if you bought things from BNB, like you just kept it in your Binance vault, they would put like launch pool tokens before meme coins and things like those coins would go up up like in hours. I sold at like $30. I thought I made like a shit ton of money. But if I held it right now, I would have over like $15 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of situations like that. There's been so many different times where I've bought something like aggressively early, and you get a good multiple on it. You're happy to sell at that moment, and then gets
Yeah.
crazy and not happy in a couple months.
Wow,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Uh,
who owns most of Involio? You or Ryan?
I would say we have about an even split. I think he has a little bit more than I do.
Mm.
um,
Okay, so I have a couple of questions from the like Involio community as well.
Yeah.
If Chief of Mo, you wanna say something before?
um, I had something ready and then I got a blackout. So if that comes back, I'll ask you.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, why are there
Oh wait, it
restrictions on the
came back.
Google?
If you, it came back.
Okay.
Um, how do you deal with psychological aspects in trading?
You mean like removing emotions from the picture?
Yes, and also like knowing when to sell, how to greed and fear, how to control them while you're trading.
Hmm.
I have over the years learned how to completely detach my trading from emotions. I'm a pretty emotional person. That being said, like that's a huge fault in trading in general. I built trading systems for about 3 years. Like, so a lot of you guys have some of my indicators. I obsessed over those for a very long time. And the trading view stuff was like just like the 5% of it. And it went down this really, really, really long rabbit hole of trying to essentially put myself into a trading system. Like, I felt like from 2018 to 2022, had something that no one else had. I think I had an edge in the market that not many people had. I think I was able to read it differently than like a huge majority of people. So I spent a lot of time obsessing over how to automate that, and put it into essentially just like a couple lines of a couple hundred thousand or a couple hundred lines of code. And so now, that being said, I have a list of tools that I would say like are almost replications of how I think of trading, and I do blindly use those. There are some that I aren't trading views pretty limited, so I can't publish certain things on there. But the biggest one was essentially social sentiment scanning. Like the way I always succeeded in crypto was finding trends before other people and being able to think like 10 steps ahead of what is this trend going to lead into, and then being able to make a decision around that. So I built something that essentially scans social media.
Hmm.
And so a lot of these systems, like if it's telling me to do something, I'm looking at it as if it's myself telling me to do it. And I just blindly follow it now. I mean, I don't, most of my days revolve around Involio. So I'm not trading all that much at the moment, but that it's kind of a complicated answer. And there isn't really a perfect way to subside your emotions other than learn what your triggers are and what's going to, you know, clog up your head in the moment. Another thing is planning very far ahead. Like anytime I take a position, I'm looking at a pretty long field of view as to like what could happen, and just what will I do if that does happen, and just sticking with that. There's obviously times where you have to change your sentiment and you can't be hard headed and just force things. But yeah.
Okay, so see, first of all,
Okay.
somebody said that there are Play Store restrictions in some countries. on Involio and they need to use a VPN in order to download Involio.
Um, I don't believe we have any block.
A user commented that in Pakistan you cannot.
That might just
Also,
be an
like from my experience in Israel, you also can download this. You also can download Involio. Like I'm using the web.
interesting. I'm not really involved in that side of things. Like that's probably like the mod team's decision if there are geographic places banned, but I don't know of any.
Okay, so there was a question, yeah, about are you ever gonna make a crypto coin like Involio coin?
Possibly. I don't want to
Possibly.
talk too much.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's probably coming, nah?
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll
Is it
see.
gonna be
You
a
know what I
blockchain?
will say is, if we do it, it'll be a community incentive token. You know, I don't know if you guys keep up with the rest of the market and like how
Mm-hmm.
these other airdrops are functioning, but
Yes.
Pengu and Hyperliquid both did very good, or Pengu will do a very good airdrop, and Hyperliquid set a pretty cool standard of um, rewarding early users and rewarding users who like really put their all into the platform. You know, we've bounced back and forth on whether or not we want to do a token because I think most people launch tokens to make money. And that's not something we want to do. We don't want to launch something that's just going to be around for a bit and kind of drop off. We're here for the long term. So, you know, we are definitely, we will most likely do a token, but we just want to make sure that it's something that can benefit the product and the users of the product as best as possible.
Yeah, because many people have requested an Involio coin. Like use it to pay, use it to buy things on Involio.
Well, we have a lot coming in January.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be we have we've been building like there's a lot that we haven't publicized yet. I've talked about it like a couple times quietly. But
Mm-hmm.
January is where everything really starts to kick off.
Nice.
Okay.
Sai, I have a question ready.
Mhm.
What if you could start over trading right now? Like from the beginning, go back in time. What would you do differently?
I would force myself to have better conviction. That was my biggest fault throughout all of crypto was not having enough conviction when buying something. Trust your gut. You know, if you've spent 2 3 years in this market full time, you start to really have a strong understanding. Like I'll give an example. Did any of you guys ever play Grand Theft Auto as a kid?
No.
Yeah, I did.
I did right here.
Did you
I
ever
just played.
memorize any of the cheat codes?
Ooh, I memorized pretty much everything.
Right. That's an accomplishment, right? Like if I asked you right now, what is the cheat for slow motion aim, you might not remember exactly. But if you had the controller in your hand, you'd probably be able to put in that cheat. Crypto is kind of the same way, where you learn things in a kind of muscle memory manner, and there's been a very large handful of times where I didn't follow my gut. I mean, we had that recently. I posted an ETH long, and I started to get nervous just because it was leverage. I know, you know, everyone loves to over leverage my positions, and I felt like there was a risk that we might drop, so I closed it. ETH is, you know, it's quite a bit from that entry zone, and had I just stuck to my gut in that situation and just not second guessed myself, you know, everyone following, and I would have personally made money as well. So, and that's my biggest thing. I wish I learned sooner to trust my gut.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
So one user also requested like XRP next month. What do you think about XRP? To be honest, I hate that coin.
I think anyone who's been in the space for over a couple years kind of hates XRP. It's always been like the retail coin. You know, I've seen a lot of jokes recently of like, wow, XRP's price makes me think they are going to take over the banking industry. And it's something I can't really answer. Like I've hated XRP for years. I've hated a lot of the top coins, Cardano. I think very lazy teams. And one thing I've learned over time is, you know, crypto, specifically tokens, do well with mass consumerism. A lot of these projects are too difficult to understand to the rock, like the new consumer getting into the space.
Mhm.
They're just simply seeing what's there, and if XRP is at the top of that line, and there's this kind of narrative that they will have a ties to the banking industry, like that's easy to understand. There's not a person out there who can't really understand that versus you know, half of these popular projects. Like I think if you put Hyperliquid's tokenomics in front of someone and tried to explain to them like why Hyperliquid might do well, I don't think they'd really understand it. I think that's why meme coins are doing well right now. It's a much easier and more fun thing to understand. I think the hard side of crypto isn't very fun. I think trying to understand new tech and how that tech is going to actually be used and it will be used in real world aspects is just confusing. So to shorten that up, I'm not really a fan of XRP. That doesn't mean it won't go up.
Yeah, because like I feel like if everyone holds XRP, like is it just magically gonna go up? You just hold it. It's meant to be held on for like seconds. If you know like the original purpose of XRP, it's the USDT before USDT existed.
Are you guys familiar with the diamond facade, the De Beers family?
No.
No.
So diamond facade is essentially, if you look into the De Beers family, this is I don't remember when, but here's ages ago. It was the first family to kind of monetize diamond mines, and they started an ad campaign that essentially said, if your wife's ring is not, I think 3 months pay, whatever it might have been 6 months, whatever it was this long, heavy marketing campaign around inflating the price of diamonds. It's a big fallacy of they said diamonds were quite a bit more rare than when they had found them. And XRP,
Oh.
which obviously had that whole lawsuit, I think part of it was that XRP doesn't have ties to banking. It's a private company. So there may be just some things behind the scenes of, maybe someone within that private company has personal banking ties that just isn't publicized. The
Hmm.
way I've always looked at it is I think that is entirely a facade that was created by XRP. I could be wrong. This might just be a conspiracy theory. But it always kind of felt like that. And I've spent a lot of time learning financial systems, and I've never felt the US government would make a private company to take them to that level and integrate them into the banking system. I've just never felt that as a feasible thing.
Okay. One user asked if the meme coin cycle is over and is it still worth investing in meme coins?
Um, Meme coins are a tough one where it's something I've always kind of advocated against over the years. I've always been someone who doesn't invest in zero sum games. Like, I think meme coins are things where, like it's out of your control, kind of anything can happen. And that being said, uh, it just wasn't anything I was ever really interested in. I never really understood it. I think there's a lot of things to go on behind the scenes in meme coins. So it's just something I've personally like mostly avoided. I have friends who do really well with meme coins. I follow their advice. I don't think it's over. I think it ties back into the earlier point of it's the easier thing to understand and it's fun. I had a friend of mine. This is the best understanding I've ever had of meme coins. A friend of mine told me I would rather lose $20,000 on something that makes me smile than Ethereum. And that clicked for me because crypto is a very difficult industry. It's if you're really ducking your head down and just looking at this space as how can I make as much money as possible in a short amount of time, it's not fun. It is a very difficult industry to beat.
Hmm.
Um, and meme coins are fun. There's this huge community aspect of like it actually makes crypto fun, unless you're losing, obviously.
Yeah.
I would be very careful with meme coins. I think it's the type of thing that's very similar to trading high leverage. Like you go in with what you're willing to lose, and I think it's a either you're shooting for zero or 100x, right?
It's it's
And
legalized gambling. It's gambling for under 18.
exactly. And I mean, well, you
How
have
would
less of an
you?
edge.
Sorry, I cut you off. I was I was about to ask, like, how would you separate trading and gambling, and what is the line, in your opinion, that
Okay,
defines
so
each?
so okay, so one thing I got to mention is like you have more of an edge at a casino than you do trading meme coins. The casino at least puts your odds directly in front of you, and you understand what you pose to win and can lose. And they do everything they can to hide that from you with bright colors and lights and free alcohol and scents in the casino. And meme coins do that same thing with just like a different type of guerrilla marketing. So I had to say that. You asked the question again though.
I asked how would you separate, where would you draw the line between trading, for example,
Okay.
high leverage trading and gambling?
So, I mean, there are, if you look at blackjack, there are people who've learned how to analyze blackjack and cheat, right? And crypto's kind of the same way. Like it's, counting cards isn't illegal. It's just frowned upon in casinos. You can't get arrested for counting cards. You just learned a system that crypto is kind of the same way. And if you go into anything you go into, you just have to have a thesis behind it. If you buy a meme coin simply just because your friend said to, it's gambling. Anytime I buy a meme coin my friend sends me, I know I'm gambling, and I'm very willing to lose that money. There's a very fine line of gambling and trading where it's the what's the word? It's just educational guesses, directional betting, right? Like, and as long as you are actually going into things with like a legitimate thesis and a thought process behind it, and it's not just throwing darts at a wall, I think that's the line. I think this industry pushes you as hard as they can to get you to gamble. So difficult to stay away from it.
Hmm.
Mm. And this bull run, where do you see Bitcoin going? For me, the max is 120, 125K.
I've gone back and forth on this so much. I've never really been the biggest Bitcoin believer. I started my real journey with Ethereum and then mostly moved down the totem pole from there. Um, I don't really have a price target. I mean, for a long time, I've agreed with exactly what you just said, 120 to 140 being like the absolute highest. The cycle
Hmm.
has been very different. We always joked leading up, 2016, 2017, we always joked about like the super cycle and the flippening of when crypto becomes like a legitimate asset. Part of me
Hmm.
believes we're there. Part of me believes that, you know, 100K was like the goal, right? And now that we're
Hmm.
there, I kind of feel it's endless, especially with the government change. I really did
Hmm.
think that Trump was using crypto as a marketing tool to get more votes, whatever else. I think he's really doing it at this point. And this is something we've never seen. We've never had a pro crypto president. We've never had crypto at this level. We've never had, I never dreamed of having ETFs as wide scale as they are now.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a new paradigm in crypto, specifically of I think anything can happen. I used to laugh at the people who said Bitcoin would go to a million. My whole argument was that I think unless crypto does become like a fully regulated asset class,
Bitcoin
that
going to
interest would
million.
eventually.
Sorry for cutting you off. Like Bitcoin going to million is like 30 trillion market cap, and is it really gonna do that? That like is the economy of US, is it gonna be bigger than that? Almost 45 trillion. One million
Yeah,
dollar.
it's a bet you take. I mean, I'm personally like not betting on a million BTC. I'm kind of for the past 2 years, crypto to me has changed into a play it by ear kind of market.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Hmm.
really have Bitcoin price targets anymore, and I think this market has changed so drastically this cycle that it's hard to put a cap on anything. This
Uh-huh.
cycle has been just aggressively different. Like, for a very long time, for 3 cycles, 2 cycles in a row, if meme coins started becoming popular or kind of these edge case asset classes within crypto started becoming popular, like that was the top signal. Um, this whole cycle, the main narrative is meme coins, right?
Uh-huh.
It's very different, and if Bitcoin is ever introduced as like a legitimate financial instrument via governments, which it has in some cases, I don't think those numbers are really off the table. My argument was that interest in Bitcoin specifically would eventually plateau, and that it's a simple equation of interest increases, supply decreases, price goes up. And I do think at a certain point, interest will plateau. I don't think Bitcoin will ever be a viable uh, government instrument. I could be wrong on that. I've had a lot of people argue against me on that, and those really smart people who I really respect and truly do believe that Bitcoin will take over much of the world's government finances.
Hmm.
So it's a bet on either one of those. I've never been a Bitcoin maxi. I've never believed it'll be a world asset. I believe in crypto and the technologies behind crypto. I believe on-chain data. Like I think points of crypto will be moved into central banking. I just don't think it'll be Bitcoin specifically.
Okay, so one thing is that like now that there are all of these ETFs and the government is like so interested in Bitcoin and crypto, will Bitcoin ever drop to like low 30s?
I mean, that's the thing. That's what I was just trying to say. Like anything can happen, you know. I don't think so. I would put 40, 50 as a new bottom. But I think it is something to play by ear. I'm not setting any real targets on a year basis. I'm just betting on what I think the market might do, and then
Hmm.
making a bump around it.
Sai, keep everybody keeps asking. Like that's the most, the biggest question everybody's been asking everybody. What do you think is the best strategy for finding the top coins to hold this bull run?
I mean, that's $1 million question, right?
Yes.
This cycle has changed so drastically, and for a very long time, what worked for me and a lot of my peers was establish trends before they're trends. Find good tech before it's labeled good tech. Bet on strong teams. Avoid high risk projects, meme coins in general. I think that has since changed. Like there were a few projects I put really big bets on at the beginning of this cycle that came from really prevalent founders and had legitimately good tech, and no one cared. And those projects didn't do as well as like most of these meme tokens and things like that. Um, I'll give one thesis, and this is how I'm positioning myself right now. Retail is starting to come back, but they haven't really come back yet. You can
Hmm.
still walk around any street in America and you ask people about crypto, you're going to have less people in crypto than in. When those people do come back, I think they'll start looking at tokens that were popular last cycle because there aren't really any new tokens that are popular this cycle, other than like a couple VC, like Mantra and a couple things like that.
Yes.
So like there's a, RSR and H bar kind of just proved that thesis over this past week of like H bar has always been extremely popular on TikTok. RSR was as well. There's a lot of other ones like that, like essentially dead coins from last cycle. Axie
Like Dino.
Infinity's one. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there's a ton of them. And so an easy one is, where do you think retail investors who were in the market last cycle, where do you think they'll go this cycle? Or retail investors who missed out last cycle and want to get in, they'll probably start buying tokens they remember hearing on TikTok or other platforms. So that's one way to look at it.
Okay, one question, like 20 seconds, name 10 coins to buy for like any
20
newbies.
seconds. Bye.
Yeah,
Um,
timer starts.
I mean, it's an impossible question to answer. Like, my answer to that is bet on projects that you can personally see winning. Like bet on projects that you would personally use and understand. I think Axie Infinity is a good one just because I mean Vice just did a documentary on it about how it's helping people in third world countries. Like there's a real legitimate use case behind it. I think it's an easy enough thing to understand. Like if you explain that to someone, I think they'd be able to understand it and maybe place a similar bet on it. Um,
Uh-huh.
it's impossible for me to say 10 different coins to buy. If anything, I would just name off the top 10 other than stable tokens, obviously.
Okay, so that wasn't 10 coins, but whatever. So somebody asked, like, will you ever go trading like publicly? Like you can buy Involio stocks.
Wait, say it again?
Like, will Involio ever be traded publicly?
Well, we have a decision to make, and either do we want to IPO at a certain point, or do we want to? It's essentially Web 2 versus Web 3, and we've kind of made this decision over the past 6 months that we want to be in Web 3 versus Web 2. I think the
Uh-huh.
problems we're aiming to solve are more valuable in Web 3. I think Gen Z is moving towards Web 3, and it's a very dark market, as I'm sure all of you know. Like, if you go on Twitter right now, and if you're a new consumer coming into the space and you go onto Twitter, you're going to get scammed in 15 minutes. It's a
Uh-huh.
very difficult space to enter. And our whole goal with Involio is to just make it easier. Like in January, you guys will see some fun updates that I think will change the scope of Involio, of being able to, live trade within the platform. And we're looking at it like, if your grandma in Idaho goes on to Coinbase right now, she has no edge.
Uh-huh.
They're going to push for what's in Coinbase's best interest. And in a perfect world, we're looking at it like, okay, in 6 months, when the platform has live trading and we've added all the features we intend to add, um, can someone come onto the platform who's never looked at crypto, never looked at stocks, and have a legitimate edge? So, well,
Uh-huh.
it comes in, sees new positions from people with long track records, and can instantly copy them. Not full copy trading, but copy individual positions. I think that's a legitimate edge that no platform has ever since offered. And so we just want to make it, we want to build a safer and easier to understand environment for newcomers to not only enter but last. Like I think my one biggest fear with meme coins and why we haven't put much attention into it is that it has a horrible churn rate. Like the average consumer getting into meme coins, there's 100 points you're gonna miss.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people get into it, lose money, and then leave the market. I don't think it's overall good for Web3. And we're just looking at it like how can we soften the landing experience? So I hope that answers it.
Okay, so what app do you use to trade?
I use all of them. That's why I can never really answer this question. There is no single best platform. We hope to create it, but they all offer different things. I think that depending on where you are, there's an exchange that's best for you. If you're in the United States, there's obviously quite a list of regulations you kind of need to follow.
Yeah, for
I think there's
future
a ton of
trading, there's only Blowfin.
hmm um, and Blowfin, will probably eventually have to geoblock. So it comes and goes. I've used probably every major exchange you can think of. I've used every major dex you can
But
think of.
you use Binance?
I don't use it much anymore, but I did for quite a while.
Uh-huh. So like Binance got
Mhm.
banned. They should bring
Yeah.
it back.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this new government change. If Trump does intend on being as pro
Um,
crypto as he says, we may see some exchanges coming back.
okay, so I have some
Nice.
spoilers about like Involio's next update. I want to ask a question about it. Can I say about it or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I heard was like you're making DEX decentralized exchange with up to 25x level out. No ID card required, right? No KYC.
No KYC.
Anybody from around the world can use it.
We will be geo blocking some places. So like just for regulatory stance, we hope to get to a point over the next like couple years where we can allow anyone in the world. But for the beginning stages, we will have to geo block some places.
Uh-huh. So like, what are going to be the fees?
We're still determining our fee structure, but we're hoping to kind of beat an industry standard and just offer something that kind of hasn't been there before. That's a much longer question to answer, but we'll be announcing a lot of it soon.
Okay, so like,
Nice.
there is live trading. Like, you can copy someone. So does the lead trader get anything?
Say it again.
Like, people can copy other traders. So can the lead trader get anything? Like, if there's copy trading in Binance, the lead trader gets like 20% of the profits.
Um, Profit share is a difficult one. Binance, Blowfin, and other platforms offer full stance copy trading, which I think has never really caught on just because the way they incentivize people. We
Uh-huh.
aren't going to offer full stack copy trading to where you plug in some money and it does whatever, let's just say Leo Messi posts. We think that like has a very high risk factor and um, it's just difficult. So we'll be doing it on individual trades. We
Uh-huh.
haven't really figured out what like how we'd even really be able to do a rev share model as a DEX. But we will be doing a fee share model to start off with, and then hopefully as things go on, do a rev share model.
Okay, so like
Nice.
it's gonna be mimic trading. Like if I click somebody's, I want to copy his trade. I have money. It copies the exact portfolio size, right? And lev.
Yep.
Like so now I put 10K in my account. 10% was 1K, and that person DCAs. Do I have to like do it, change it again, change the position again, or will it happen?
We're gonna start it off with where like in that case, if someone adds to the position, you'd have to add as well. We
No.
are debating on whether or not we want to have it full automation. That's a decision we haven't really finalized yet. I think we'll launch it with, you mimic someone's position, and if they edit that position, you'd have to do the same as well. Just for the simple fact of we don't want to see a situation where someone, let's say you copy someone and they have 10% of their portfolio and it's dumping and they just keep adding and they eventually end up at 100%. I
Hmm.
think that's a really risky place to be. So it's either like imposing risk implementations on the creator side or just leaving it up to the user. I think for the beginning launch, leaving it up to the user is the safer part, but
No, but
as we
like,
grow, we'll
then what problem does the mimic trading solve? Like, you now have a DEX and Involio, you can just copy that original trade as well, because like you're just essentially doing it when you're online. The problem is when people are sleeping, they can't edit the position. Somebody closes, they forget to close because they didn't get the notification, and now they're in losses. Or for example, there was a good opportunity DCA and they were like not online and they missed it. Because like if somebody's mimicking a trade, it's just opening the trade like, so it doesn't really like change anything, to be honest. It won't have any like I see a trade, I open it whenever CX I want to use. If there's mimic trading, like I would want to like at least copy the entire position automatically. Like if
yeah,
somebody adds, I want to add. Yeah.
we're leading into the option of just giving users the option to have that. Like I think just having it automatically turned off for first time and leaving it up to the user to make their own decisions. We have been thinking about just like having the option to, if you want to one-to-one copy that user's position, you can. There's just a lot of edge cases and things like that of depending on your size. Like I know if you're trading with a large sum, you maybe don't want to do market orders.
Hmm.
In the case that someone is asleep and they mimic someone's trade, and the adding to or removing from or places limit orders, there's a chance that those limit orders aren't filled, which could lead to problems. So
Hmm.
there's just a lot of things like that we need to kind of like test out and make sure like won't negatively impact users. Like our whole entire thought process right now is how do we offer the best user flow. And mimic trading is mostly going to be for kind of newcomers who don't understand like the hard side of the network. Like I think everyone on this call, like you guys have been trading for a while. If you see someone post a trade, probably takes you a couple seconds to open your Binance or Bybit or whatever account and execute the same position. But for a lot of the new
Hmm.
people coming in, like it's not as easy for them. So it's mostly to solve that issue. And then as that's just the first level of the release. Like, oh my god, dude, we have so many different things planned around it. The like, I think
No.
we have solved what you just mentioned, but we have to test it and play around with it for a couple weeks, couple months to finalize.
So like you guys have about $1 million in marketing expenses for like influencers and stuff. And Ryan says like in 3 months from like launching the major updates in January, you'll have about 1 million users. You have like 100,000 users right now?
About 150.
Okay.
Wow.
So like
Beautiful.
what influence are you planning to bring on? Just like give us a sneak peek.
Wait, say it again.
Like what influencers are you trying to bring in? Like give us a sneak peek.
That you guys will see soon. We have a lot of really big people. I don't want to drop any names yet. But uh, big YouTubers. We've had the best success, and we've tested every kind of marketing aspect possible. YouTube has been the best for us, not only in how many users, but how good those users are. We
Because
did
on
Twitter
YouTube,
promotions.
one thing is because on Twitter, like Twitter is like the worst thing you can. On YouTube, people learn how to trade. Like people come for information and then they utilize the information. On X, people are generally just scrolling to like the wins, and you can't really trust other people on X. So if somebody's coming over there, then probably not gonna download it. On YouTube, if somebody shows you, explains you how it works, because it's an informative video, they're probably gonna come. Even on IG, you get like 100,000 views. Probably only 100,000 are gonna download.
Yeah. And it's just working with Baxter and a couple other guys. Like we've gotten the best community members we've ever gotten. I think everyone on this call came from YouTube, and
Uh-huh.
we've never had users like you guys before. I think you guys all seem to really appreciate the platform and like want to be here with us for the next couple of years. And we didn't see that in a lot of the other pushes we did. So we really like
Nice.
YouTube. We like the community. It's hard to explain. Like obviously YouTube is like a massive platform, but for whatever reason, like the quality of users we got from YouTube has just been better than the others. Like we pushed a bit in Forex at the beginning of this and got a lot of just like very toxic users who just honestly a lot of scammers.
Hmm.
We didn't really see as much of that with the YouTube push, so we want to gas pedal that. I see a lot of comments about guesses as to who we might bring. I'll say this: anyone who's ever uh, launched a meme coin or rug pulled or something sketchy in the finance world, we're not going to work with any of those guys.
Like
Everyone
Steve
that
will
has
do
a
it.
contract. Oh yeah, man, don't remind me.
I
We've
mean,
like
I mean, that day I wanted everyone like everyone's longing to position. I full put it. I showed it. I made a new portfolio and then showed it a coin. I told you like, don't buy that coin. The day before it, before you told everybody, I used to work on meme coins, so I bought that coin and it was like 30% down. I was like, looked into the project. I knew it was sketchy. Next day, I'm seeing like, whoa, everyone's promoting it here. Even think about like Steve will do his own like who is that person? He promotes betting, he promotes gambling. He's that type of person. You can't really like trust these type of people.
that's what we realized. Like we thought, it wasn't that I was placing a bet on like the longevity of his token. Like I was never trying to get people to buy his token. It just they wanted to do a giveaway. I know someone who's on his team very, very well. I'm not really close with him anymore because of that whole situation, but we just thought it would be good for the community. And, regardless of Steve's character, we thought it'd be like a nice giveaway for the community. And he did send some money out. I know that. But then a lot of other people didn't receive it, whatever, whatever. And it just kind of reminded us, like, be very careful, like, who you
Yeah.
open the doors to. Um, and that's what we're doing right now. Like, everyone I've been talking to, um, has a
One
really clean name and I really trust.
one thing I want to say is that in the past few days you verified a couple of people, and I don't really think that's really good. You know why? Because like there should be some sort of age verification first of all. Because like if somebody's getting verification, they have to be like over 18. People think that they're good. And then they're basically just 12-year-olds. I know a couple of them. I won't name them, but there are like a shit ton of people who are like really, really good in the community, and none of them are over 18. None. They're like under 15. And
Yeah,
I
well, so
won't
we're
say the names.
changing the. I don't personally handle a lot of the verifications. Like, there's either the mod team or Ryan. Um,
Mhm. No, no,
we're
no. I'm
changing
just
it
saying
from
like we'll like make some
well,
ID
everyone
verification.
everyone obsesses over this gold badge for obvious reasons. Like it's the hierarchy of the platform, and the blue badge we started off as was just we were just going to copy what Meta did, like originally. Like if you're a celebrity, you get a blue badge. If you have a
Hmm.
high notoriety, you get a blue badge. And then
Hmm.
that kind of changed into if you're a core community member, if we've seen you on the app for 6+ months, you've got like 500 plus followers, people like you, we're not getting complaints about you, like okay, we'll blue check you.
Uh-huh.
And then gold check, has kind of bounced around from it was like 100 closed positions, 85% plus win rate.
I got
But
that.
the win rate, yeah, so the win rate has kind of caused people to not make the best decisions just to keep their win rate high. So we're, with the launch of the live trading, adding something called just Invo score that takes into account like pretty much everything you could imagine from position sizing to hold time to win rate to a lot of different details. And it'll just be automatic. Like we'll just have an enforced. You have to have this level score to have a gold check, and it won't be something that we can personally add. It'll just be automatic, and I think that'll solve the verification side of it. For the blue check side of it, you know, I'm an old man. I'm 26 years old. Someone being 15 and having an or younger and having an interest in trading is so interesting to me because that was not the case when I was growing up. Like 15-year-old
Hmm.
wanting to invest like, didn't exist. Like and I understand like a lot of these guys are young. A lot of I think YouTube is a mostly younger platform. And
I got into
I've
trading pretty young.
I have to give like a shout out here because I personally know there's this Adam guy which does daily Bitcoin analysis, and I think he's like a 14-year-old and he grew the community so much. Like I've known like I really think he's such an underrated dude in the community. Really, like,
Yeah,
and
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 I you
the
know,
thing is, he's a 14-year-old and has the market knowledge of like a much. I like he has the experience of somebody that is in the market for a much larger time. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah. No, I mean, it's this thing of, if you hear like, oh, it's a 14-year-old trader, like we've all been conditioned to, oh no, but entrepreneurs are becoming younger and younger day by day, year by year. And I don't feel right judging someone based on their age in this case specifically. The whole thing with Involio is you don't have to look cool, you don't have to rent the Lamborghini, you don't have to do any of this other
Yeah.
stuff. You don't have to scream your name at the hills. If you're good at what you do, that's it. We just showcase that. It's immutable. You can't edit it. That's it. If you're a good trader, you could be 9 years old. If you go on a year trade run, I will be looking at your account, and it's this thing of I've had a lot of people say you shouldn't badge people. Well, we don't collect ages as well. So a lot of these guys, we either talk to them and find out they're younger or don't. And I think it's just simple as if someone's good, they're good. If they're 15, they're 15. It is what it is.
That's a pretty healthy thinking, I think.
I think anyone at that age, like, has a very different thought process, and mistakes can easily be made. We've seen it a few different times. But that's how we think about it.
Oh,
I
somebody just
have a
commented.
question that is not related to Involio, but rather trading at all, and it's like a whole different aspect that we haven't talked about yet. Is backtesting and strategies. Like, what would your tips be for a young trader or like a young in the market, trader that's trying to build his own strategy?
Uh, you know, you can obsess. Any strategy can work. Well, not any, obviously, but any decent strategy can work. Like, if you could look at support and resistance and build a good strategy based on that, and you can obsess over it over and over, years and years, rip your hair out trying to build like a good trading system. And I think for me, like, find something that works for you and just stick to it and just get better and better and better at that simple strategy. Like, if
Yeah,
it's
that.
RSI, if you want to be an RSI trader, I know a lot of people who solely rely on RSI and they do a great job. I know a lot of people do the same with support and resistance. And you know there's not really a perfect thing. Like, I would test different ways to trade. I would identify early on like what your goals are. Like, I'm a firm believer of, if you're going to be an investor, be an investor. If you're going to be a trader, you're going to be a trader. If you're going to play with meme coins, play with meme coins. Like, whatever it is, don't bounce around. Stick with something. Like, I said early on this call, I'm a very emotional person. That being said, crypto is probably not the best industry for me, but I just
Yeah.
stuck with it. The first 2 years of this were really difficult, and it still can be really difficult at times. But I stuck with it and found things that worked for me and obsessed over those things. The second I found something that worked for
Yeah.
me on a consistent basis, like, I just zeroed in, blocked everything out, and just only thought about that. So
One thing I want to say is like the ability to delete portfolios, especially if they're
yeah,
lost.
we're gonna change it. We started it off like we allowed for that just because there's a lot of casual people who want to come on and just test it out.
Hmm.
This has since obviously grown quite a bit. We didn't really expect to have like this level of growth this quickly. So
Hmm.
we're gonna change it to an archive feature where, like, I think, I would love to delete some of my portfolios just because, like, I just would rather focus on the scalp trading portfolio. I'm obviously not going to, just for obvious reasons. But in a perfect world, like, being able to archive some of them, like, I'm not really doing,
No, because
yeah,
like people, let's say I make 10 portfolios. I put like different trades on all of them. One goes to 1,000% PNL. The other nine get liquidated. Now I delete the nine other liquidated portfolios, and now the perfect one. I start like glazing it, and now people think I'm a good trader. And I start selling VIPs. Now I got money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna change it to archive to where like you can archive your portfolios. Like I would love to archive my long-term portfolio because there's a couple of positions in there that I'm still personally holding. Well, only
Or
really one. Tenant.
or
Tenant
or
got burned. So I
uh
don't really want people being directed to buy tenant. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's not really the best position anymore. And so for me, like I'd love to archive that. And that doesn't mean like delete it, but not have it at the forefront of your page. So
mhm.
we're gonna change it to just being able to archive to where you can view archived portfolios. So in the situation you said, like if someone does do that, it'll be easy to see like, hey, you lost 10 times in a row. So
Well, let's do this thing like if somebody liquidates a portfolio, it just says liquidated and it stays on the profile forever.
well, say it again.
Like if somebody gets liquidated, it says liquidated and then stays on the profile forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would that portfolio like you can archive it, and people can just go see that you got liquidated. But just not
I
hold.
100% believe liquidation is a part of the process. In to be honest, like I got liquidated numerous times on Involio too. Like I did not delete most of my liquidated positions, portfolios. I did not delete them. Did not delete them even because I believe that's a part of the process, and you should not be ashamed of having some liquidations in your past. You know.
No, but still,
Absolutely.
uh, think about like recently, Jay Vinier. He had a couple like 250. He's the person with the most community members in his premium, and everyone like believes in Jay. Every newbie comes on, wait, Jay's this fantastic person. I mean, he's fantastic, but like, and then he didn't take like proper risk to reward ratios, and then he got liquidated, and then he promised everyone he's gonna pay back like 50% of their losses. He took the Solana and the proofs, and he never paid it back. So like these type of stuff like make people think that Involio is bad, like not ruin your own image in front of people.
Yeah, I mean the junior situation was unfortunate. I've known Junior. I mentored Junior in 2020, and
Hmm.
I do have a lot of belief in him. Like I've seen him go on fantastic trade runs, and leading up to that liquidation, he was on a fantastic trade run, and
Yeah.
he got liquidated amidst the birth of his first child. Like I think stress levels are high, and I'll give an example. Are you guys familiar with Crypto Capo on Twitter?
No.
He was one of the more prevalent characters on crypto Twitter over the past 6 years.
Hmm.
He's got like almost, I think, like 600,000 followers. I could be wrong. A lot of people really looked up to him. I think a lot of people still do look up to him. At the beginning of this year, he announced, I think, around 30K he would be shorting BTC, and has stuck with that thesis to this day. Uh, you know, we're at 100,000 now, so you can imagine how it's gone.
Yeah.
Um, does that make Crypto Capo a bad trader? I don't really know. I think everything changes. I think people go on crazy runs and then something in their personal life may happen, or a million different
A,
things.
a good trader is someone who's consistent.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, on our end, like eh, putting risk in positions to traders, like, I think it's one thing to get liquidated for 5% of your portfolio. Like if you take a risky trade, 50x level, whatever it may be, and it's a small portion of your portfolio, it is what it is. You can bounce back from that. I think Junior's fault was full porting into shorts. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he was, you know, doing things without a clear mind based on what was going on in his personal life and let it get the best of him.
When
I
I
think
just joined
mistakes happen.
Involio, hmm
What?
when I just joined Involio, like Jay's
He was one
trades
of our
were like
first
the
leaders.
best ones, like the best ones. One day I remember like, damn, I missed Jay's trade. Even though I was me myself as a professional trader, but like he- I missed his trade. I was kind of sad genuinely. It was Zcash trade. It went up like 40% in like a
Yeah,
couple of hours.
yeah. And Junior is one of those guys who like risk it for the biscuit. Like I know
Yeah.
Warren Buffett's a famous name who he's beat the market for however long. I'm sure he's taken bad losses in his early trading journey, and it's Junior's been doing this for what, 5 years or 4 years, or I guess longer than that actually.
Like
But
they,
since I mentored him about 4 years, and I think it's part of it. Like I know he made a lot of his money by being aggressively risky, and had that Solana short worked out, like there would have never been a problem. But
yeah, I
on our
remember
end,
like you when I just came on the portfolio, the first trade I see CY posted Solana short, Solana long at like 190, and your take profit was 210, and Jay Viner had a short on it, and he closed that I cannot like counter trade CY, and like in the next few
Yeah,
days Solana went to 113.
yeah, I don't really remember honestly, but on our end, it's just going to be like, if someone has a large follower base, specifically a monetized follower base, just not
Hmm.
letting them, take these like aggressively risky trades. Like if someone following it wants to, you know, change the risk factors and be less risk averse, like that's entirely up to them, and I support anyone in that decision.
But a thing
But
is, like newbies, they think if somebody has 170,000 PNL, they're better than anyone. Like they just see quick growth. They just want to see quick growth. It doesn't matter if they get liquidated later on. They like, for example, a person who has $10, he loses like all of it or like makes 1,000 from it. It's different. But a person who has a $200,000-300,000 portfolio, he doubles it, and it's a big thing, like doubling a $200,000-300,000 portfolio. Newbies don't
yeah,
think about
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, I mean, these are a lot of these things are just things will change over time. Like on the creator side, just like literally not allowing creators to full port. I think that'll become really important. Like we haven't really decided on the finalities of that, but the Involio score will, I think, change a lot of things. Like I think win rate is the only real determination, or how many trades you've taken with that win rate,
You
determination of how
see,
good you are, or what's
like
now.
see
I
why
had
I
a
have to ask you
suggestion that
something
like
again. Like it's slightly related to Involio, but also like in trading in general. Do you think a higher risk reward with a low win rate is sustainable compared to like a 0.5 risk reward ratio to with like 80% win rate?
They can both win. Like here's the thing, like the point that was just brought up about having, like, if I make 10% on a position, I'm so happy. Like it could be a month. 10% is a lot for me, I have a
on
Yeah.
pretty
portfolio
sizable
on
portfolio.
trade.
What?
On your portfolio 10% or on your trade?
On either. Like I take relatively large position sizes, so, but the person who's trading with $100, $10 isn't going to change their life, right?
Yeah.
And it depends
Yes.
on the side of the market you're trading. Like I don't do high leverage trading at all anymore. I just won't do anything over 7x ever. That's
If you're
just
new,
it just
if you're new in trading, take big risks with small amount of money. And if you're now like experienced or settled in trading, take
yeah
small
as
risks with some big money, like put 100K on
yeah
Bitcoin.
as you
For
grow, you become
example.
more risk averse. Like I don't buy meme coins for the money. I do. I'll throw a couple $1,000s at a meme coin, and if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. I'll survive that. Um,
Hmm.
and then high win rate. One second. Sorry, I got a call.
No, no
Yes.
worries.
No worries.
If you're trading in memes, you're not going to have a high win rate, right? Like you're going to have a horrendous win rate. You're going to win 1 out of 10. And you might be extremely profitable in that case. Like I have a lot of friends who only trade meme coins, and they lose, they lose, they lose, they lose, and then they eventually hit 100x. And that covers well over all of their losses. And it depends how you're going into it. Like it's not something I can fully suggest, just because I'm like, my personal trading career, like I'm not at a point where I suggest high risk personally. But if it works, it works, and it's like win rate is not everything. At the end of the day, like your P&L is what matters. And if you're happy
Yes.
with that or not, like if you are only interested in obscene gains, you have to play heavy risk. I'm not interested in obscene gains. I'm interested in longevity, and I'll go months. I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time not trading recently. Just I've been very busy with product. but learning to sit on your hands is a very valuable thing in this market, as long as you have the
Yes.
funds to do it.
One thing I
Yes,
wanted to
nice.
suggest, like, is that people open VIPs, you just take an interview. Like, let's make the process a bit more like difficult. Like some proof of the trade you take about like, it's not someone in the basement just sitting and paper trading, and their paper trading has gone well, so now they're a big trader.
Yeah, we're thinking of doing a test. Like a lot is going to change for who can be either a monetized trader or like a whatever.
Yeah, because like I've
There's a
seen
ton of
how many three people have liquidated and monetized portfolio till now, and there are a total of six people who are monetized. So that's
yeah.
like 50% failure is bad.
Yeah, and it's the unfortunate thing of like it's impossible to. I never would have thought Junior would have gotten liquidated. Like
Me neither, bro.
and it's like there isn't really a way for us to like we will make it a bit stricter as like who can monetize in the interim, but at a certain point, like when we do have 1 million plus users, we'll probably allow anyone to monetize, and if you build up a good enough portfolio, like we'll have specific specifications on it. Like if you have a terrible win rate, you can't do it. But as simple as if you're performing well on the platform and you want to start a subscription, we feel we should just allow people to do it. And the problem right now is there's a very select few of like profitable traders on the platform. So if someone does monetize, like it's very easy to see it. But when there's millions of people and we have more, strong traders on the platform, I think it'll be kind of easy to tell like who you should monetize to, who you should subscribe to, and who you shouldn't. I think a
Yeah.
lot of it will be subscriptions will mostly turn into community basis. Like I think right now, if you subscribe to someone, it's for trades. I
Hmm.
think it'll kind of change down the line to like subscriptions around education, subscriptions around community chat
Yeah, I think
rooms,
we should be able
things
to
like
like
Yes,
post
yes.
videos on
That's a
Involio.
good point.
yeah.
Um, another repeating question I see in the chat and like in everything we asked, like how do you evaluate the top 10? The top 10 users, I mean.
I'm not really sure what you mean. Like on the Discover page, like the top portfolios.
Yeah.
Yes.
We it's really random. It's mostly just people that we've talked to for pretty long amounts of time and trust. Like that's really the only thing we can do right now. With the Involio score, a lot of it will change. Like
I just
it's
opened
all
the. Mhm.
it's um it's a difficult thing right now. Like there are people I would like to promote more, but just hasn't like enough time hasn't really passed to be sure what happened. Like I really thought Captain Satoshi was a good character, right? Like we spoke to him a handful of times. He posted for quite a while. We didn't foresee any like issues coming up, and obviously there were quite a few.
Wait,
So
I wanted to ask what happened to Captain Stoshi.
Yes,
I have
that's
no idea.
a huge mystery.
I have no idea.
He went to he wa what- he got into an accident, went into coma in Dubai, and now he hasn't posted in like 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a huge mystery. Like I pray for him that he's okay. It's just a
Mhm.
really unfortunate situation.
So like, what were the requirements for like a gold check mark?
Right now, it's just like a culmination of like, do we think you're a good trader? It's changing like in the process right now to just be an Involio score of where you have to have a certain level score that kind of checks all boxes on if you're a good trader, your consistency. So I've talked about it a bit before.
Hmm.
Um, but it's pretty loose right now. If we determine, or the community mostly is who's determining if you're a good trader. I read pretty much all the comments and so on and so forth.
Wait, do you think I'll be
But we
able to
do
get
miss
it?
a lot. What?
Would you think I'll be able to get it?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after this call. But you deserve it.
I wanted
Would
to
you
like,
think I'll be able to get
I want you to rate
it?
my portfolio, but you don't have screen share on, so yeah, I didn't ask about it.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure Ahmed wanted to ask a question for like a long time. So like he's been muted and trying to not cut anyone off. So Ahmed, if you want, you can ask your question.
Uh, are you ever going to add like a oh God, did I just forget? So you know how you have cross and isolated on trades on portfolio? Are you ever going to add
Yeah.
something where post the trade, you can choose the trade as a cross or as an isolated trade to help in managing like problems? Are you ever going to do that?
Yeah, once live trading comes, that it'll be introduced, as a lot of the requests we get will come with live trading, limit orders. The problem with the current stance of Involio in terms of like how portfolios are displayed is we don't display a dollar amount. So it's very difficult to showcase a lot of these different things that we know we need. But once live trading comes in, we'll pack most of those boxes, if not all.
Right
This
now,
question I've seen a little bit in the comments, but are you for the bots problem? Have you guys figured a way to stop it, or like have you figured a way to uh, block the messages you get on the app from bots?
Yes,
Or
it's in the process. To be frank, we have a pretty small dev team, and we're still a small product in general. So a lot of like our dev team's entire focus has been kind of major issues like slowness, load times, issues with how prices are calculated, things like that. We do have solutions, and a lot of every problem that someone brings to us, we have on a board that we intend on fixing. The best solution we've come up with thus far is just kind of having a mute feature for these accounts as well, and then just not like being able to turn off DMs. There's a ton of different things. I have a filter system that's being added this coming week for DMs. We have it on the feed, but just for development difficulties, couldn't add it to messages. So in about a or actually on Monday, I believe, no one will be able to say a list of flagged words. We're also beefing out our report system. Like we have our mod team right now, but the way reports on accounts are settled is very bare knuckle. So we're changing that, and our mod team will be able to like really have a clear view of like who's been reported, so on and so forth, and just take immediate action on there. Right now, it's a little bit difficult for them. So I think in the next coming updates, that just won't be an issue anymore. Doing a lot of like how Twitter deals with it, where if you've been flagged, your comments don't initially show, your DMs don't initially show. Having like a stronger sense or a stronger uh, position of captcha, like Twitter will ban you very quickly or force you to go through a captcha. Um, so a ton of different solutions, but yeah, it's top of mind.
okay, so one thing I wanted to
Nice.
say, like, there are a couple of errors in portfolios, and that thing are not like accurate. They're like
Yeah,
just rough estimates that it feels a bit like bad. Because like if you're trading on a portfolio, your financial assets, even though it's not financial advice, but still we want to keep our portfolios as accurate as possible. Like if you hedge a trade, it doesn't work. And first of all, one thing is that some brokers don't even allow hedging. But that's not a big problem. There are problems like one user. For him on his portfolio specifically, the prices will be so high. Like he opened a Solana trade and it's at 329, even though Solana never even hit 329 in history. So yeah, there are problems
yeah,
like this, and like the
that's what
piano is there's a problem with it as well.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning before. Of our That's like our whole dev team's focus, like these major problems. The way we built everything, we built from ground up. Like we didn't white label any solutions. We fully built this in house. We didn't buy a skeleton and build on top of it. So as we're scaling, like these random issues kind of have been popping up.
Uh,
We recently hired a new developer specifically to deal with the pricing issues.
yeah, that guy
There's
he
a
used like a million leverage. He showed me, screenshotted to me.
Are you talking about Crypto Rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a developer. We had some minor flaws in the system that like allowed him to edit some of the front end stuff. We fixed that a while ago.
Mhm.
I talk to him
Yeah.
pretty frequently.
One thing as
Um,
well, what was I gonna say? Wait, I just had a black eye. You say what you want to say. I don't remember what I said.
the only other real issue is like the bug on prices not matching. We pull most of our price data from KuCoin, which we're changing right now to have our own kind of central source. We did that as just like it was the best way for us to have second to second or millisecond to millisecond prices. This
Hmm.
is 2 year and a half ago. And there's a bug on how P&L is calculated on portfolios after a certain point. So after I believe it's 5,000%, something happens and it just starts over compounding. So we're fixing that right now. And all of these minor issues, like
Yeah,
we're gonna make sure they're all entirely patched before
because like
live
we're
trading
talking
comes.
with Tifmo right now, his portfolio had over like 2.5 million%
Yeah,
profit.
I mean, a lot of these problems like they just come over time. Like there was no way for us to know. Like I remember who. Oh, I went through. We really found out this problem going through Mr. Bean's portfolio because he was the first one to have like a pretty
Yeah,
egregious. His
Yeah,
portfolio showcase is around 200,000%. It's around 20,000%, which is still very impressive, right?
yeah.
Like,
very impressive, insane
um,
actually.
Because
but
like
so
if you
we just
pull,
there's a weird issue that came up, but we're in the process of solving that right now.
The thing is about my portfolio is
Mhm.
that I'm pretty sure you resetted it like a couple times to be the actual price, and then somehow it kept glitching a bit more. You know,
Yeah, yeah, it's a weird one.
it's actually a weird one because like I remember like I was at nearly 500,000%, and then I closed one trade at 0.09%, and then suddenly it's at 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
If that helps you somehow.
yeah, it's a weird one. It's only on portfolios after they cross a certain threshold, and then everything kind of just goes haywire after that. So we found that out like a month ago, and I've just been
there's a
we
problem
had
with
other.
there's a problem with DCAing as well. So let's say you're down 10% on like 5% portfolio trade, and now you double up that portfolio position, and now the losses are cut in half. Although on our broker, it doesn't show that it cuts on half immediately. Because like from there, it even if the price goes up a bit, like let's say I was actually down 100%, I DCA'd like that a couple of times. It shows that I'm down 10% on the specific trade, and now I close it after it gone up a bit. It's actually not in profit. That trade is not in profit, but it shows we're in profit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different edge cases of like there's fees involved in any trading brokerage, and there's obviously no fees here, and it's doing it based on a percentage, not a dollar amount.
Yeah, and
But
not
that
even like funding
actually.
fees. Yeah.
I have an I have a really a repeated question again, but this one it's not only repeated for you. It's like one of the biggest questions I see in Involio feed in general, which is I'm just really curious to hear about your opinion about that, because the question is, if you could give three tips for new traders that just got into Involio, just got into everything. You know, the first thing they see on crypto, wow, you can get this is a really huge market. Yeah, everything is really confusing sometimes. So, what would be your three best tips to start trading?
Start trading on Involio or just trading in general?
Trading in general, but also on Involio, if you think about it.
Outline your goals. So the first thing in any market is outline your goals. Like what are you doing this for? What is this going to solve? Are you trying to pay your bills? Are you trying to get rich? What is it? And outline that immediately. They're two very different things. I think trading pays the bills, investing buys the house. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is consume information. Like the thought process behind Involio is go to top performers and go through all of their trades. You don't have to do it one by one, but get like a decent understanding of what they're doing and if it's something you as well would want to do. Don't blindly follow.
I have
Don't
one
take
thing.
advice from people.
Mhm.
Hmm?
I have one thing to say, like to the newbies, people like you cannot become a billionaire trading futures, can you?
Wait, say it again.
Can you become a billionaire trading futures? Some people have this
I
concept
don't-
in mind that they're gonna turn ultra rich just by trading futures, and that's completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can make good money trading futures. Do I think you can, become a billionaire? No.
Yeah, because
I
like
think you got to focus on.
every crypto billionaire, he has an exchange, and most of their money comes from the exchange. There, people like Luke Belmont, they show like made this much money from crypto, but if you actually search into the like how are they making money, most of it comes from selling courses.
Yeah. You
It's
wanna?
pretty
I got a
ironic,
fun
yeah.
fact. I taught Bill Maher how to use Binance in 2019.
Hmm.
That's a fun little fact.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
is
mean,
somebody told you
you
that
know,
he mentored you. You mentored him.
yeah, yeah, I love him. Um, but yeah, I mean, at certain scale, like there's a reason I mostly do my futures trading portfolio for the community. Like
Hmm.
my bread and butter is investing. Like you know, I'm trading with like pretty large, a pretty sizable amount. Like I couldn't, I couldn't really leverage trade with 20% of my portfolio unless I'm doing it on the top 15, 20 pairs.
Hmm.
And that being said, like everything changes when you come to a certain size. Like, Sam made his own rules, right? Like it's OTCing to avoid market impacts. It's not something the retail trader thinks about.
One
But I
thing,
mean, I think it's focusing on the millions first, right? Like, you can't really talk about billions until you have the millions. And I
yeah.
have seen a lot of people become millionaires from very small amounts of money with leverage trading. Like one of the first things that like I've had a couple scenarios that like really skyrocketed my trading career. One of the first ones was and I'm not suggesting this to anyone, but I was trading on extremely low time frames. Like I'm looking at 1 second to 30-second charts, and I'm just obsessing over this kind of this trading style I had done, where I'm trading on. I don't even want to say it, but I was trading on like 33x leverage, and I
Uh-huh.
would just sit there and click, 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 and it was this obsession point where I had something that worked on micro frames, and I just would sit there for 30 minutes at a time, maybe an hour at a time, and just go as fast as possible. And I did that for probably 6 months. Um, and I would shoot to just get 3% on every position. And I looked at it as it doesn't matter what's going on in the market, I will always be able to get my 3% out. Um,
Hmm.
and that worked really well for me for a while. I gave up on it just because it was too stressful. Whatever else. But that was one of the first points, and that was obviously future trading. And had I not done that, I don't know that I would have made it as far as I have.
One thing for many people, if they ever get like say, successful, I hope they do in trading, futures trading, like keep out your money and start a business. Because like I don't think trading is that reliable.
I mean, teacher, like I've never really taken much money out of crypto, like at all. Like I've given my mother quite a bit of money, and I've taken out like what's needed for bills over the years. But I'm almost 9 years full time in this space, and trading and investing is literally all I've done. Like I
For me,
never, I never
there's a specific amount of money. Like I'll never let my futures accounts exceed that money. If I make some money, I'll ideally just buy some real estate with it.
yeah, everyone has their own plan. Like
Yeah,
I have a goal in mind. I honestly probably won't exit the market until I reach that goal. So
yeah.
Would you want to share the goal, or would you classify that?
$30 million.
Wow.
30.
I think I think I don't think life changes after $30 million. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
For
but
me,
That
not
that
I'm not there yet, so we got a
Yeah.
long way to go.
My life plan is actually pretty different. I want to make money trading. I have a lot of houses. I buy houses, rent them off. I want to buy like own the neighborhoods, entire neighborhoods in city like New York, Texas, Washington, over here. Like buy people to buy houses, buy property. It will eventually go up, and by 2040, almost all homes will be owned by big corporations. And because of the demand, like all many of the people, like 80% of the people will be renting. And buying a house these days is pretty like people just inherit homes these days. I mean, if they have a home, because like the average person now, I don't think they can buy a home because of what just happened, like the interest rates. I mean, I'm Muslim, I cannot use interest rates. So when I buy
Yeah.
anything, I buy cash.
For me, the biggest thing is that I like when I say I've been full time in crypto since 2016. Like I mean full time. Like I have only obsessed over this market. I
Wait,
haven't spent any time.
you got in
Hmm?
2016?
Oh yeah, like early
Me too,
2016.
me too. Yeah.
It's been a good ride.
I
But it's
bought Bitcoin. I wanted to buy a PlayStation, and instead I bought Bitcoin. Every one of my friends had the PlayStation. I was one and one. I mean, I just realized that I'm just gonna play Minecraft on it. So yeah,
yeah,
forget about that
yeah. I
shit.
mean,
And I started investing. Even before that, I had a website. I never wanted to like make money from the website. I just want to be like famous, like Apple level perfection on their website. That was always my dream. And
yeah. I
now, I
mean,
mean,
crypto for
obviously
me,
things
like
have changed.
crypto was a means to escape for me, and I can't say I really like over the past 6 months. Involio is really my obsession. I don't know if you guys do know this, but I run all of our designs. Like every design you see on Involio, I made.
Wow.
So it takes time and whatever else, and it's something I really enjoy. Like I can't say I really love trading crypto. Like I will always love this market, and it changed my life in every way I could possibly think of, and I respect this market, but I don't love it. I love Involio, and I love what Involio can do. I love what Involio can be. I love where it can go.
See what?
This all
Hmm.
this whole journey started with this obsession over cleaning up this market. Like I've gone 8 years without ever doing anyone wrong. I watched a lot of people do fraudulent NFT collections or launch meme coins or blah 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 blah
Hmm.
blah, and it's a really dark space, and there's unfortunately not that many people who seem to care about that. And investing in general is a dark space.
For the past
And
4 months, I've never skipped a day on Involio. I posted
it's,
every day or commented on some shit.
it's amazing to hear.
That's
Yeah,
the thing is, what do you think about what is your opinion about people obsessing over Involio, like in general? Like people have their screen time like 10 hours on Involio, like 15 hours a day on Involio. Like how does that make you feel?
I love it, man. It's all I obsess about. I'm supposed to be in Miami right now, but instead I'm home working on product. It's all I think about, you know. So if someone else has the same obsession levels I have, I love it, and I hope they tell me that, and so they could give me their opinions on the platform, and help me improve it.
That's beautiful, man. Well, Sai, like the 30 minutes have passed
We gotta do with you guys an extra hour.
long ago,
Cancel,
and we
cancel the
enjoyed,
call.
like we enjoyed hosting you. Really,
It's
like
a pleasure speaking with you guys. I hope to do it again soon.
of course we would
Okay.
love to have you again.
And
For the
All right,
floor.
fellas.
Tiva, please check some DMs as well.
I will. I will. I've been
But and
terrible.
Okay.
also, I would love that if you would just for my fun of it accept my Discord friend request.
Okay, I'll accept this. I had to re-download Discord just for this. So
Is you
Okay,
what's your Insta?
CY Watson.
Okay, I'll add you.
all right. I just followed you.
Nice.
All
Well,
right.
guys, it was a great conversation. Let's do this more often. And it seems like my notification for the post didn't go out, so we didn't get all that many viewers. But next time, we'll
Yeah,
make sure it does.
I wanted to
Yes, of
like
course.
do it in a week advance for like you to post it so that more people are ready. But then you are like, I thought you didn't wasn't as interested.
No, let's
Right
turn this
now,
into a weekly thing. This was fun.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
every
actually,
Saturday, me and
I would love that.
yeah, we're trying to do every Saturday a podcast with a different person of the community.
I love it. That's amazing.
That's
Yeah, I love
beautiful.
the
We'll host you again. I can promise that, Sai. See
when I
what?
saw you guys launch the La Fuerza page, it made my whole day. It was the one of the first like community markers I feel like we've had. So I really appreciate that you guys did that.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
Of
joining.
course, like we're having a lot
We
of fun
appreciate
here.
this.
All right, fellas. Thanks again. Looking forward to chatting again soon.
you
All
too,
right.
man.
Yes, we love to chat with you too, man. Bye bye.
Next week maybe Ryan.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. Peace.
Wow, that was amazing.
In the
Well, I'm gonna
chat,
take my leave. I have some
Do
personal
you guys
business.
want to add like the other guys now and just turn this into a La Fuerza stream?
bro, it's 3 p.m., bro, on a random Saturday.
I'm going to take my leave. I'm pretty busy right now.
All right.
Bro, you
All right.
what?
Take care, guys.
Ahmed, we enjoyed having you too. Like it seemed like you were struggling to put a word in.
Well, if you guys didn't speak a little too quickly, I could have had said something nice.
Hey, bro, wait, let's
I
interview
love you
Emmett
guys.
for 10 minutes, bro. Emmett, come on.
My phone is at 2%, and I'm kind of busy, man.
All right, bye,
All right. Take care. See you
All
next
right, take
podcast.
care.
bye, everybody.
Leo,
Bye.
should we move the call to the La Fuerza channel?
It's on to our friend. Oh, you wanna do it on the
Like
Discord,
yes,
bro?
like
People are
over
getting
here.
bored. Yo, in the chat, tell me if you're bored or no.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
If you're bored, like I can do some live scalping right now if you want, guys. Like I have like a 1K to 10K position. We could try bringing it to 5K today if you want.
From where to where?
Like I opened a paper trading 1K to 1K to 10K, and like during the stream with Sai, I turned it into like 2K, so we can try to do it to 5K
Yo, yo, yo,
together
yo,
if
yo,
you
yo.
want.
Play Mozart.
Oh my god! Wait.
Yeah, and that's like our outro. Do it. Play Mozart and we
Oh wait,
exit.
wait! I'm connecting my piano. Just
Yo,
wait.
don't leave, don't leave.
Yes, of course. The thing is, do you guys would you guys love to like to see me live scalping right now, or like
No, no,
are you
no,
bored
bro.
and
My headphones are about to die. Bro, just do Mozart and let's do a personal stream for you like tomorrow.
all right.
Alright, bro, Mozart, quick, quick,
Why
quick.
why are your headphones dying, man?
Bro, AirPods, I didn't even charge them.
Like that. What Mozart do you want me to play? Like I have no idea why. I never played that in like I haven't played that in like 3 years.
Just do an outro song.
What'd you say?
Outro song.
I did not understand you.
Just play something, bro, to like exit the stream.
um. Wow. Like okay, I can play something I wrote if you want.
Alright, just do it. Yo, 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 wait. Yo, stop, stop,
What?
stop. Is it copyright free?
Yes, of course. I
Alright, do it.
wrote it. I have the copyright. Like if
Do it.
my company will sue you, I will tell them to leave it.
Uh,
All right.